Good morning, everybody. It's Mr. Bascom. I am trying to show you how to create an outline from your terms and questions. So I'm using this sample here. I made up a fake name, but this is a former student's work. So I took their title and put it on the top of the page. And now I'm trying to divide the work into at least 5 different parts for this outline. So you can see this is me typing it in here. Obviously, I recorded this in normal speed and then fast forwarded it. Now what I do after I have come up with the 5 parts is I start using the questions and kind of categorizing them to fit in my 5 parts. So you can see right away here that I'm going through the questions and I'm trying to see if they fit any of my parts here. So this person was writing on art and entertainment in the 1920s, so a lot of their questions have to do with music. Some have to do with art, still others have to do with popular culture, architecture. So I'm organizing the outline that way, and then I'm putting the questions where they belong. And so I'm not even adding the information yet. I'm just kind of plugging in the questions. But after I plug in the questions, then I started adding the factual information, essentially the answers to those questions. So once I've put in the questions, then I can start typing in the answers.
So I would definitely have my terms and questions nearby, along with uh, any sources of information in case I have to check something, including spelling or dates or just the accuracy and more specific details of something. Um, you can see here I'm starting to answer all the questions. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to go start looking back at the questions list to make sure that the questions are where I want them. I'm going to have my key terms nearby because I'm going to start plugging in the key terms, making sure I'm using them in my answers. Also, I'm going to have my factual information nearby, whether it's the graphic organizer or the source information or my notes, so that I can start typing in the answers. And again, this is an outline, so it doesn't have to be necessarily complete sentences, but complete thoughts. You want to make sure you're answering the questions accurately, so that way when I see your outline, your plan, I know that you have the right information, that you have the accurate information. You're going to elaborate a lot more in the essay, but you do at least have to give the essentially correct answers here with some specific details, with some key terms. So you can see as I'm writing this, I'm starting to include for the movie section here that I'm looking at, I included the names of at least 4 different movies. Um, some of this is in the key terms, and some of it is from my prior knowledge. You want to do the same thing. You want to use as many of your key terms as you can. You want to use as much prior knowledge as you can, but it's got to be specific details here. You don't want to just generalize. You don't want to use pronouns and say, oh, they did a lot of things. You want to say, when possible, the name of the group or person or nation. And when possible, you want to give the title of the law or of the program, or in these cases here, of the specific pieces of art, whenever you can do that. Um, Factual information needs to be present in your outline. You can't just talk in generalizations anymore. Um, at this point in the outline, you can see I'm on part 5, and I'm just starting to, again, use more of those key terms, making sure that I'm answering my original questions. And obviously, you're not going to type this fast. I have it on like 4 times regular speed, but I think this can be really helpful for you guys just to understand how your key terms and questions, if you have a good set of them, can really help you put together this outline. So now, again, I'm finishing up here to make sure that I've used all of my key terms. This student had 16 good key terms. I'm trying to use as many of them as possible. I've used all of the questions at this point, and now I'm just, again, you see me typing in the answers here, just trying to make sure that everything's accurate. Now I go back and check the key terms list, and now soon I'm going to start um, highlighting them to make sure that they stand out. So you see me constantly scrolling up and down. So I originally typed the outline right on the same page as the terms and questions. That's something you might want to consider doing, and then copy and paste the outline after you're done onto the outline section of your Google Docs and your classroom page. And again, if you can have more specific details, that's better. The more specific terms you have here, the more it's going to help you when you get to the actual essay. So now I'm just checking the fonts, and now I'm starting to highlight key terms. You can see here that every time I see a key term, I'm highlighting it in yellow so that it really stands out, so that I know that I'm using it, so that the reader knows that they're being used. And the reader in this case would be me for your projects. And you can see that already there's quite a large number of key terms, specific people, places, actions. Um, so the more of them that you highlight and that you use, and again, the specific details, the key terms are like things that you would look up in a glossary or in a dictionary, or you would find an entry for them in an encyclopedia, or so it shouldn't be just general terms. It should be very specific terms. Now I'm changing the fonts, and again going through key terms, checking spelling, and this is the final product. You can see the outline works out to altogether it's about 2.5, 3 pages long. Um, the spelling looks good. All the key terms are shown. And as I'm scrolling through it here, you can see that it's all organized properly. It's all lined up and formatted properly. You can do this. All right, guys.